There are only 2 weeks left of the GBL season, and Niantic is making it very difficult for you to hit Legend if you do not have the resources. So, this week, Master League Open and Master League Premier. Both level 50. Master League Premier means no Legendary, no Ultra Beast, stuff like that. So, we are going to go in this video over Master League Premier teams because I think that this is your best chance to hit Legend if you have the resources to get to level 50 Pokemon, because these Pokemon are accessible in sort of the loose term there. And what I mean by that is, let's bring up top 20 rankings. Dragonite, so 1 and 4, Gyarados at 5, Garchomp at 6, Metagross at 7, Ursaluna at 8, and then we're repeating again, and then Mamoswine at 10, and then we're repeating Gyarados, we're repeating Mamoswine, we're repeating Ursaluna, and then add on that Swampert. All of these Pokemon have had community days, right? So your ability to have XLs and the community day move should be higher. And most of my teams revolve around some combo of these Pokemon. So I think that if you don't have the Pokemon for Master League Open, which I do not, because they are dominated by legendary level 50s. If you don't have that, I think these Pokemon in this meta is probably your best bet. And I've got some teams, one that I ran 520 ELO earlier in the season in this meta, that I'm going to go over right now. I think that you have a chance to build teams for this because the meta is quite small for Premier. So my team that got me 520 plus ELO, that got me up to like the high 2800s from like 2300, is Gyarados on the lead, Metagross, and Dragonite. So if you go watch my video, just go search like my playlist in Master League. I read a bunch of videos there where you'll see a bunch of these teams that I'm putting out today. Gyarados on the lead. A lot of people use Gyarados as a safe swap because it is probably one of the better safe swaps in this because it has so many good matchups. As I've gone over multiple times in my videos, I am against now using a balanced team with a safe swap. What I like to do now is use the safe swap on the lead, because in general, that will allow you to determine whether you want to take sort of switch advantage or shield advantage. And that's where this sort of team works, is that your backline kind of covers each other's weaknesses. There's a little bit of a weakness in Excadrill in the backline, but the main thing is Dragonite's weak to Fairy in the back, and Metagross is going to beat that, right? So Gyarados on the lead, Dragon Breath, Aqua Tail, you can pretty much stay in and win almost any match. In the 2 shields, you can win a lot of matchups. Not all of them, right? There's some like Charmers and stuff like that you're just going to lose. But for the most part, Dragon Breath Gyarados will do pretty well in most neutral matchups, and then you determine whether you want to take the shield advantage or switch advantage. So again, a switch advantage is important because if you have like a Fairy in the back, getting it on your Dragonite is rough, and if they have a Fairy in the back, they probably have an answer for Metagross in the back, right? So that's where you want to try and take switch. I have also said that Metagross with shield advantage is almost unbeatable. Like if you're up a shield on Metagross, because you have like the Meteor Mash, which is neutral on almost anything except for like Gyarados and Steels. But for the Steels, you have the Earthquake. Gyarados is a little trickier, but between the Bullet Punch and Meteor Mash, you can, again, shield it up, you can probably take that out. So Metagross with shield advantage is huge if you want to do that. And then Superpower with the Dragonite as a nice answer for Steels as well. So I got 500 plus ELO with this team. I'm probably going to use this team again first because, again, I do not have a lot of Pokemon. Second team I used, don't even worry about Mamoswine. We'll talk about Mamoswine on another team, I think, maybe. The core of Excadrill and Gyarados is what you need to focus on here. So this core has been broken in Premier for as long as Premier has been around, essentially. Because you have Gyarados as a flyer and water. So it's weak to electric, and it's going to have a little trouble with steels. And that's where Excadrill comes in, right? Your Excadrill is going to have the Mud Shot, which spams. You still have Rock Slide for flyers to deal with that. And your Steel to Wall Charmers, which Gyarados is going to have a problem with. So the core has been super broken. Excadrill is weak to water, which again, Gyarados as a Dragon Breath user is going to be great for that. Core Breaker is kind of a... well, no, I was going to say Primarina, but it's not, because Primarina you can... if it's running Charm, you're going to resist the Charm. Chestnut is kind of a core breaker for this team, and that's where I would change Pillow. So this team was before Chestnut came out. Again, I don't know how many level 50 Chestnuts you're going to see in this meta, but Chestnut between resisting every charge move is resisted on Chestnut because it's fighting and grass between the two. So I would cover. I still think the core is super strong. I just think if you're going to use this core, you need something to beat Chestnut. So keep that in mind. Team number 3, Togekiss. You can use Florges. So Florges is ranked number 2. Again, I just have a Togekiss built up. I do not have Florges built up yet. I'm catching all the full babies I can. But I still don't have the Hundo and I do not have the XL. So if you do have a Florges, 100% use the Florges on the lead here. Again, Metagross I already talked about. But now, Conkeldurr, and you can use Shadow Machamp. Like I use Conkeldurr because it has like the Stone Edge, but like Shadow Machamp, you can have Rock Slide or Payback. Like depends what you want to run on it. A counter user for a bunch of the steals that you're going to see, right? You have Stone Edge or Rock Slide if you're going to run Machamp for like Gyarados. And then you have, again, if you see a Fairy, you're just kind of in trouble. Not much you can do there. But for the most part, just counter Dynamic Punch for all those steals that you're going to see, even in neutral matchups, because even though Metagross does have Psychics, have Steel, right? So that still hits neutral. So counter users kind of sneak in this because a lot of people just run that core of Gyarados and Excadrill. So you have a great answer for Excadrill, and you still have the Stone Edge for Gyarados. And the last team, extremely risky, given that Metagross is on many teams, and so is Excadrill, is a double Fairy. But basically, you come in with your, let's say, Togekiss, because if you get hit with an Excadrill, you can still potentially get to a Flamethrower to grab a shield there. And then you have a Mudshot, Earth Power to deal with the Steel, punish that, and then your other, hopefully, Fairy will roam free. It's tricky. I have run into double Steel in the back. Like double Steel is a very common line in Master League Premier. Excadrill and Metagross backline with something in the front to deal with that. So this is a risky team to use, but it does have the potential to do well. And again, I use Sylveon and Togekiss. I don't have Primarina, and I don't have Florges, and both of those are probably at this point better fairies to use in this meta. Because I know for sure, let's just go back to the rankings really quickly. I know for sure Florges is number 2. Yeah, so Florges number 2. The other fairies aren't even on here, given the fact that there's a lot of just like steals on this list. But there are Dragonite at 1 and 4, so nice into there. Gyarados with Dragon Breath you're going to beat. Garchomp's a Dragon you're going to beat. Como, right? So there are a bunch of Hydreigon. There are a bunch of dragons on this list that a fairy type Pokemon will do very well against. So keep that in mind that you may see that. Anyways, that is it for Master League Premier. 3 times Dust. It's tricky this week because if you're close to Legend, so what do you do here? Let's just go thought process on what to play for these last 2 weeks. It depends what set of Pokemon you have built up. If you have a bunch of level 50 Pokemon that I just went over, I think you can put a bunch of like teams together based on the top 20 Pokemon that you should play Master League Premier. And obviously if you have level 50 open, like legendaries, play Master League Open. I will go over that video later today. The last week is also tricky because you have Master League Open with a Mega, right? So not only do you need a level 50, you also need legendary Pokemon, and you need Mega Pokemon that can evolve too. So you need the Mega Energy. It's like, okay, so talk about no accessibility there for most of us. Then you have the Hoenn Cup. I don't think it's posted yet on PVPoke. I will do it is a great league. Hoenn Cup is posted. Thank you, PVPoke. So it is a great league, and it is a great league with very meta Pokemon, unfortunately. So I'm just going to, if you're here, I'm just going to go over the top 20 just to give you a heads up to see what you have for this and whether you want to just wait for next week. If you're like close to Legend. If you're close to Legend and you don't have Master League Pokemon, I think you can wait for this because there's a lot of meta Pokemon. Registeel, Metachamp, Pelipper, Sableye, Regirock, Altaria, Defenseoxys, Swampert, Whiscash, Mawile, Hariyama, Walrein, Gardevoir, Dusclops, Tropius, Regice, Shiftry, Vigoroth, Zangoose, Snowy Castform, right? So there are definitely very meta Pokemon that you probably have a few of those in your inventory right now. So it's, if you are close to Legend and you don't have the level 50 Pokemon to compete in Master, I think it is worth taking a week off for. If you're already hit Legend or you're not going to hit Legend at all this season, even if you have level 40 Pokemon, like you don't have any level 50 Pokemon, you're just like level 40, I would still play. So I have in the past, go check my videos. I brought a team of level 40 Pokemon into Master Premier level 50 and won a few games. Not a lot, but like 1 and 2 games per set. And when you have 3 times win Stardust, even if you like win 1 game, depending on like your rank, like right now I get what, 900 for a win. So that's 2,700 if I sneak out 1 win, plus the end of the reward sets is like 3,000. That's like 5,700 times, so let's call it 6,000 for math purposes, times 5 sets is 30,000 dust, right? It's worth grinding the dust in these last 2 weeks if you're not going to hit Legend and you just want the dust, because these are, again, if you can get 30,000 dust times, I was going to say 14 games, what is that, like, oh geez, I don't want to do this math, 300,000 plus another 420,000 dust. That's 420,000 dust potentially that you can get in these last 2 weeks of GBL if you just grind and play every set every day. So that is my recommendation. My first recommendation is Master League Premier. Power up those those community Pokemon. Second is Hoenn Cup, because there's a lot of just like normal Great League Pokemon they have. And then if not, just grind those 2 for dust. Anyways, that is it. You'll have the Open Master League video coming later today. So if you're going to play Open Master, check out that video. And I will be showcasing Premier, and well, I'll be showcasing Premier teams this week. If you have any Master League Open teams and you want to help this channel out, appreciate you submitting some of those battles in the description, link in the description. And I will definitely showcase, because I do not have any Open Pokemon. So that is it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.